Recently, there has been a discussion on X because of this Doublelift tweet. What's your hot take on an underrated champion that nobody plays in competitive? LS and Vega V2 replied to this tweet mentioning Anivia as an underrated and underplayed mid laner. As of today, Anivia has been picked 4 times in the summer split across every region and only picked once in a major region. Shout out Darkwings.
Darkwings Anivia, okay. That's an old school rise counter.
One of those kind of conditional,
and it also, like, the wall is pretty good for Skarner as well, so hey. I mean, I with the Anivia pick, honestly. I think it's not a bad pick. They're just really low damage right now, so they need Rahel to pick something like Aphelios, in my opinion.
It's quite obvious that pro players and coaches aren't interested in picking Anivia. But should Anivia be even picked? Is she a good pick? Does she have good matchups? Does she fit the meta? In this video, we'll be looking into all of these questions and answering them. Chapter 1. Anivia's state as a champion. Anivia as a champion has remained the same for a couple years now. The last time she was in a patch notes was patch 13.22, which was 2 years ago. What did change for Anivia is her items. Catalyst was buffed in patch 25.07, which made the item's build path more flexible for mages, including Anivia. Rod of Ages and Catalyst also received a mana buff, which is good for Anivia. And it's also worth noting that her build got a small nerf recently when Seraphs got nerfed in patch 25.10. Chapter 2. The meta and matchups. Ever since the addition of Atakan and Grubs, there has been more fights in the river than ever before. Anivia as a champion is good at using the tight terrain in the jungle and river to pinch and zone the enemy team with her wall and her ult. To put it in simple terms, she fits right into the meta. But what about her matchups? Is that the reason that she's not picked? It's not. She actually has good matchups against a lot of the popular mid laners picked in pro play. When you look at the most picked mid laners being picked all over the world, you can easily identify that perhaps Anivia should be picked as a counter after all. Galio, Ryze, Annie, Silas, Twisted Fate, Talia are all good matchups for Anivia, and there's more, but you get the idea. Let's talk about her build for a second. The tanky mage build that Anivia goes fits the champion perfectly. When you combine that with phase rush and her passive, she starts to become very annoying to play against. She also has good synergy with a lot of the popular junglers like Poppy, and she's good with most junglers that can peel her and or set up her CC and follow up on her CC and wall. And she's also good with most engaged supports for the same reasons that I just mentioned. Ironically enough, Anivia destroys engage and melee supports in general, since most of them are short range and they need to engage on you. Ideally, she's best picked into short range, engaged team comps with not a lot of mobility to maneuver around her Q, W, and R. In terms of when you should pick her in the draft, she's not blindable because there's champions like Victor, Ahri, Orianna, Tristana, and Xerath. There's a lot of answers, so you get the idea. In my opinion, it's best to pick her after the ban phase. Chapter 3. Strengths and Weaknesses. Every champion has strengths and weaknesses. Anivia specifically has certain qualities that make her good for pro play, which makes it even more of a surprise that she's ignored across all regions, especially in the Rod of Ages meta. In a competitive game of League of Legends, the game is slower than your average ranked game. It's so much slower, in fact, that champions with scaling attributes are allowed to farm for a large portion of the game and can reach the spikes without any issues. So Anivia, a champion that builds Rod of Ages and Seraphs and has Gathering Storm, should have no issue reaching these spikes. This is one of her main strengths. She likes a slow controlled map state in the early game, and that's a lot more common in competitive. Another big strength is that she has the ability to slow down or even prevent turret sieges, especially in the later stages of the game when Anivia has more points on her R and W. Let's say that the enemy team has Baron buffed minions. Anivia is still able to defend turrets with her wall and using her ult to take down the minions. At the same time, no one can attack your turret because your ult is blocking anyone ranged from attacking, and the threat of the wall is trapping anyone who decides to walk up. Now let's talk about some of her weaknesses. In terms of team compositions, there's mainly two types that counter Anivia. There's champions that outrange her and make her whole kit a lot less effective, so think about champions like Xerath and Vel'Koz and Ziggs that counter Anivia fundamentally. The other type I can best describe with the word bulldozer. Just like the vehicle that is used to push very heavy objects forward no matter what, you can make a team composition that dives in so hard that even champions like Anivia can't stop you from getting on them. So think about, for the sake of this argument, facing a team comp like Camille in the top lane, Zac in jungle, and Yone in mid lane. Chapter 4, in conclusion. Anivia is a champion that should 100% be played in competitive at this current time. Everything about the current meta says that she should be picked. The extra river fights because of Grubs and Atacon, her tanky Rod of Ages build that is strong right now, and the popularity of melee supports which she counters fundamentally. She has a lot of good matchups and some not so great matchups, which is why she should be picked as a team comp counter in draft. Her power to stop sieges is extremely effective and she can stall games. With that being said, with Worlds around the corner, I hope we will see Anivia get picked, at least as a counter pick. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.